Good morning, family. Good morning to my two oldest ones. So, Ruth, listen, I struggle with you because you really have no trust with me. Even though you have two lawyers that left you held in a bag, literally making a fool of you, you still can't trust the woman who brought you into the world. And I know I'm not a lawyer, and I know they have expert lawyers. A good lawyer, a caring lawyer, has expertise that that I may not have, but I do have wisdom. And if you just listened to me on October 21st, you would not be in this predicament now because that PFA would have been gone on October 21st. And whenever that PFA hearing is, it's going to go away unless something happens in the meantime that gives Kevin um, some evidence that you're an abusive mom. And it's impossible because you're not an abusive mom and you never abused Maya or Hannah or any of your children. So that's silly. So let's just look at this and stop chasing rainbows. Stop trying to do have to have a lawyer for everything. You have to use common sense and you have to use prayer and you have to use God for your guidance. Number one, I don't know what happened in court on Monday or the other day, on Wednesday, but I do know this, and I said this to you when you went in there, and I believe it still stands. Until the PFA is resolved, there's nothing a custody hearing can do for you because the PFA stands over the custody hearing. And you had this idea that a lawyer was going to come and get rid of the PFA. Well, the lawyer wouldn't even come. So I'm not sure that you not pay him. Do you have a sign? I'm not even getting to the long story about that. But if you had a signed contract with that lawyer and he didn't show up to court for you, then you have an issue to deal with that lawyer about. But if you didn't have a signed contract with the lawyer, you didn't pay him anything, then you need to just not even expect. I don't know what the hell you expected from him. That's over with now. So right now, this is what you have. I don't know what was said in court, but I'm gonna just tell you from wisdom what you have. You have a PFA, and a PFA is a protection from abuse against your daughter. Now, as long as that stands, your daughter's custody belongs to Kevin. Kevin he has custody over it. Just like when I had that PFA against you and Hannah. Do you remember I did the PFA when I first got Hannah, and I had it for me against me and Hannah. The first day of court, they took Hannah off that PFA because they realized the problem was you and I, not Hannah. So they took Hannah off the PFA. That would happen on the first day of court. But because there are concerns about you, they gave you supervised visitation with Hannah. See, it's PFA against a parent and a child is not an easy thing for anyone to keep. So I just want you to keep in perspective what we're looking at. We're talking about a PFA, which is so easy to resolve. You don't need a lawyer to resolve the PFA. But if you felt like you had to have one in your predicament, you don't need to pay for one. If you had went and got a public defender for the PFA, focus on just that. Get your public defender, you have a right to have a public defender because you're being accused of a crime. That public defender would have been there because the state pays him or her, and they would have been there. So I recommend that you look for that public defender that I thought was really good that Viola asked me to get for to push for Cameron, and Cameron got her. I forgot her name. If you can go down to Norristown today and apply for the public defender and try to get that woman that Cameron had, then at least you have something to deal with to help you get the PFA. And the first thing you're going to ask that person to do is help push that date up because you're already not going to see your baby Thanksgiving. Let's push the date up for the PFA hearing so you can see your baby for Christmas. And that's what I'm recommending. That's the only thing for you to do now. There is one other thing for you to do. And I'm just saying this as your mama. Get yourself on that naltrexone program. Since you're not going to do rehab and you're not going to deal with it, I don't care if you have not drank for the last 2 weeks. I don't even care if you have it. You know darn well you have an alcohol abuse issue. You know darn well when things get hard, or even when you just, whatever the reason, you have no control over your need for drinking. It's no big deal because a lot of people are like that. That Sinclair method is worth a try for you. So you say, yeah, I'm a pit. Every time I bring it up, you call me a pit bull. Yes, I'm a pit bull. I'm a pit bull because I know you can't keep your child and drink. There's no way it's going to happen. It's not going to happen, particularly if I'm alive, because I'm not going to not let Maya be not taken care of properly by you or Kevin. I have a whole different thought about Kevin now that I didn't have before. But I'm going to talk to Larry about that more than one-on-one instead of here with the three of you, because I have a whole different thought now. But the problem with that thought is that I don't want Maya stuck in foster care. And that's what's going to happen. If you can't get into a sobriety program where you can document to the courts that you're treating successfully your sobriety. That's number one. So if it ever comes up, you can show the courts that. Then if something happened that's shown that Kevin has Maya in danger, well, that's a whole nother subject. I'm not even going there. I'm just keep it simple, stupid right now. Focus on the PFA. The only thing you got to do right now, Ruthie, get rid of the PFA. And I told you how to do it on October 22nd, the day after when I saw that you had a January 20-some PFA hearing date. My first thing was say, write to Judge Murphy and ask her to move the PFA hearing up and then deal with that. But if you have to have a lawyer because you don't think you can walk into the room and show them that that PFA should not be there, which I believe you can, and I can go in there and really, I feel like I can really prove that, I know I can, that the PFA should not stand if they're basing it on abuse. Now, if they're basing it on neglect, that's a whole different subject. But if they're basing it on abuse and on those fingertips, that PFA has to be dropped. So whether you go do it with or with, if you want a lawyer, go to Norristown and get yourself a public defender who will be there, who might not even have to go there. They may can just do the paperwork and bring the court date up. But anyhow, that's my 7 minutes of conversation for you today. Have a good day.